good hot video for y'all today. I want to give you this advice because I guarantee if you really soak in what I'm going to be talking about on today's lecture, I guarantee you that your Forex trading career, your stock trading career, your binary options, your cryptocurrency, whatever method of trading you choose to do, I guarantee you're going to start seeing results almost instantly. Because this particular subject that we're going to talk about today is commonplace knowledge for expert traders. It's only the newbies and the amateur traders who stumble over this obstacle and constantly keep getting in their own way. That is why they are having such a hard time trading as opposed to when you talk to an expert trader, they actually seem like trading is effortless. So today we're going to talk about that one little nugget that you are probably missing, but it is one of the biggest nuggets in trading, period, that you need to know about. Before I get to that though, get your pens and paper because I'm going to be giving you notes. So while you're doing that, let me go over my typical notes that I'm supposed to do while you guys are gathering your information. And here it is. Last week, and one of the things we did, a lot of people wanted to know more about our signal service, and I'm just talking while you guys are grabbing your pen and paper for our lecture today, but just give me an update. If you visit our website for the signal service now, you will see that we now post weekly all the trading results for over a month. Okay, so you can go back. Now, we won't post we've been doing signals for a very, very long time. We cannot post all of them since we began because it'll take too long and it'll slow down your computer when you're trying to pull up that web page. So we decided to post a monthly, an entire month's results. So you can go to our website now to the signal service where it says click here to join the signal service, scroll to the bottom, and you'll see all the results from June. Well, I think June's is still there, July, and now the first week of August, which we just posted last week. So you can see historical data for yourself, and whether you like it, cool. If you want to join us, cool. But we did have 9 trades that won, 1 trade that lost, and 2 that are still open, which is our NZD JPY and GBP JPY. Those trades are still open. Now, separately is the scalping group, which is different from the signals. It's all in one group, but we count them separately. Because you take the scalping signals live with a professional trader, Miss Jenny, who's a wonderful trader, best in the world that I know as far as scalping. And for her, that group made over 3,400 pips last week. Okay, 3,400 pips. So they're killing it. And there we go. Okay. Also, I have upcoming interviews. I'm going to start interviewing some people to help you guys out as traders. One of them is going to be Miss Jenny, who actually I'm going to be interviewing her so you can actually hear from the mind of an actual professional trader who is a professional scalper, because a lot of you guys want to be professional scalpers. And so there's some things that you're missing. So I'm going to be doing interviews with her. Also, another signal provider, Mr. Elvis, I'm going to be interviewing him. Also, for some of you guys, you want to know how to file taxes as a Forex trader or retail trader, or whether you're trading crypto, whatever. Tio, I love Jenny too. She's amazing. But so I have my own personal accountant who I'm going to be interviewing so that you guys can kind of get some information for yourself on how to go about filing taxes as a trader in the market, okay? Or even if you're losing, watch this. If you're losing money in the markets because you haven't joined us, but you can still find a way to write that off. Okay, so we'll talk about all that when I bring those guests on. Now, let's get started with today's lesson. Number 1, this is a big one, and I want you to hear this video all the way to the end, because I guarantee if you listen all the way to the end, you're going to be blessed, because you're going to finally get boop, aha moment, because that's what literally happened to me. It was like an epiphany. It was like a light turned on for me when this knowledge hit me. So here we go. Write this down. Until you have an emotional detachment to the markets, you will always struggle with them. Now, again, don't take that statement and run and close out and say, oh, okay, that's all I needed. No, you need to stay to the end so that I can walk you through the process, because that's part of the problem with retail traders. They move too quickly. They're trying to do things too quick, and they're missing details that the expert trader does not. because the expert trader took enough time to investigate, study, and learn on the front end. So now when they're trading, they can trade for years with peace of mind and relaxation, and they have complete understanding of what's going on, not only with the markets, but also with themselves and their relationship to the markets. The average retail trader does not have that association. So please stay to the end so I can help walk you through this. I guarantee this small investment of your time of listening to what I have to say as your fellow retail trader is going to benefit you for years to come, because it took me 4.5 years to figure this simple thing out. And it wasn't even hard at all, but nobody was talking about it, so I didn't know, like many of you. So here we go. I'm going to say the statement again, and then we'll begin to walk through it. Here's the statement. Until you have an emotional detachment to the markets, you will always struggle with them. So here was my epiphany. It wasn't until I hated the markets, and this is the honest to God truth. It wasn't until I literally hated the markets. I hated the markets. And that's when the truth of the markets revealed themselves to me. I wasn't a good trader until I hated the markets. Some of you guys are so enthusiastic. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a full-time trading career, da 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 da. Okay, that's cool. But there's nothing wrong with having a dream of being a full-time trader. But sometimes the way you're going about it is going to destroy you. And if you don't believe me, some of you guys who's going to be watching this later on, because we typically have thousands of people watching later on, I guarantee you, it's probably, if you've been trading longer than 4 months, it's probably already starting to happen to you. And if you've been trading longer than a year and you haven't been profitable, it already is happening to you. So it's not like this is something that I'm making up. I'm gonna walk you through it, the solution. But what I'm talking about today, a lot of you guys, you're experiencing it right now. The excitement and thrill you had at the beginning, as far as believing that you was going to become this all-time great sudden overnight success in Forex, and the emotional attachment you had to the markets is dissipating. But you don't know why. Well, in a sense, you kind of know why, because, hey, you thought this was going to happen. You thought that was going to happen. And then let me walk you through it. Hold on. Let's just walk through. I don't want to go too fast, because you guys really need to absorb what I'm trying to tell you. Because it wasn't until I hated the markets. Understand, now you don't have to hate them like I did, but I hated the market. I literally hated it. And that's when the epiphany hits me. That's when the truth actually found me of what the markets was trying to tell me the whole doggone time. Thank you, Tio. He said, my insight helped him not to hate the markets. Hear me good on what I'm about to teach you today. This lesson today, I promise you, some of you guys, even as we speak, you have already did the steps of making another deposit into your account, because you blew your account last week, even though I told you trade lightly, because last week I told you was hell week. I told you in advance. I said the week of last week, I said it's hell trading week. Hell news week is what I call it, because it was packed full of news. And those news events were very important. And I knew that they were going to spike the market all over the place. And some of you guys, you traded because you didn't listen. And why didn't you listen? That's part of what we're going to be talking about today. Because when you get what I'm trying to teach you today, when I give you advice like I did last week, telling you to tiptoe lightly, you're going to start understanding why I'm telling you this. But because of your attachment to the markets, your perspective about the markets, you're screwing your own trading career up. So again, take notes on what I'm trying to teach you, or you don't have to. Do what you want to do, and you suffer for 4.5 years like I did. Go ahead and blow counts for 4.5 years. Go ahead and suffer through the markets for 4.5 years. You do what you want to do. You grown. Can't nobody tell you nothing. Well, go ahead. But for those who want this wisdom, take notes. Now, here we go. Number one, have you ever been in a relationship with someone who you love dearly, but they seem not to care? They can care less about you. Follow me on this logic. I'm planting a seed of logic in your mind so that when we get to the finish line of today's lecture, you'll be like, oh my freaking God, he's telling the absolute truth. But see, you never seen it. because of your emotional attachment to the markets. So I'm giving you an example. Have you ever fell in love with somebody or know somebody who did? They fell in love with a person who could care less about them. You love them dearly, but the love you put out, you did not receive. It was not reciprocated. And this can go for husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, child, mother, or parent. Because sometimes you love your child and they seem so disrespectful and they can't stand. So in other words, you're suffering an emotional hurt because you're putting out a whole lot of emotions towards something or somebody who's not reciprocating that. And you say, what does this have to do with Forex trading? Exactly. Stay with me and I'm going to walk you through it. Because when you see this, you'll understand what made me a better trader. And when you see this, you'll begin to say, you know what, doggone. He's absolutely right. You can go from Warren Buffett to whoever is highly successful, and you'll begin to see the same pattern. And now you will begin to understand what makes them so successful versus you, the average retail trader. And hey, I've seen somebody all the way from Haiti. Nice. Hey, all the way from Haiti. Number 2, you're excited about the markets. Write this down. This is critical. Here we go. You are excited about the markets, but the markets are not excited about you. Oh my dude, this is a biggie. You're excited to be trading in the markets. The markets don't care about you. The markets don't care about you. You care about them. They do not care about you. Now, this pivotal point has to stick in your head. That's why I started with an example. Have you ever fell in love with somebody who did not love you back? Well, you did. The markets. You're excited today. By the time this reaches some of the people who's going to tune in later, because again, just like you're seeing somebody all the way from Haiti, I'm going to have thousands of people who watch this later on. I guarantee you're excited about the markets about to open today. That's great. The markets are not excited about being open, and the markets don't care nothing about you. It's you who feels some kind of way about them. That is a deadly mistake. Critical mistake. Follow me on this one. Let's keep going. Number 3, you spend lots of time getting to know the markets, but the markets don't spend 1 minute thinking about you. Oh, we got Germany in the house. See, I told you, people from all around the world going to be tuning in. Hey, Germany. Hey, 80s. I told you. The markets don't give a crap about you. You got to get this in your head. So why am I saying this? Here's where the retail trader comes into play. Here's your thinking. A lot of retail traders come to the market with, oh, I want to become a full-time trader because I want to quit my job. I'm tired of my boss. Wrong thinking. Oh man, I want to become a full-time trader because I want to buy this car. Wrong thinking. Oh, I want to, and you can go down the line. But see, when you watch this, when you attach emotions to the market, you're already setting yourself up for failure. Because if you actually look at the average professional trader, they are not that overly thrilled about the markets. It's nothing more than a job to them. My students, I use the term when we teach in class, get up and get your butt and go to work. Notice the terminology that I teach in my classes. Why am I teaching that all the time? Because I'm trying to teach you how to detach from this market and making it an emotional machine for your own pleasure. It doesn't care about your personal needs. I told you guys last week in class, my students, I told you, I don't take on students who tell me, oh man, I got this bill to pay in 2 weeks and I need to trade in the markets. No, you don't. Because see, now what you're going to do is not that you can't make the money. Of course, the money is there, but your emotions will get in the way of your trading. Are you understanding what I'm saying? If I tell you as your mentor, hey, stop trading or relax or don't trade that much this week because it's going to be a lot of news coming this week, what do you think the average emotional retail trader is going to do? And some of you guys who's going to be watching this video later on, you did it last week and the markets ate your account alive. And I told you in advance as a mentor, I said, hold up, swole up. Don't trade too heavy. because last week was riddled with traps. And they do that like once a month. Are you understanding what I'm saying? I told you guys in advance. But to a person who is overly emotional, who brings emotions to a game that doesn't require emotions, you're going to screw yourself up, and you've been doing it. Because your emotions is talking louder than your mentality. Or let me rephrase that. Your logical mind and your emotional mind are two different minds that you bring to the market. Let me explain what I mean. This is going to get deep. I promise you this is going to bless you if you listen all the way to the end. Because I'm telling you, had I understood this, I wouldn't have wasted 4.5 years, 7 days a week. I did not take a day off, and my wife confirmed it many, many times because she had to endure that. 7 days a week, I never took a day off for 4.5 years of frustration. And part of that had nothing to do with technical analysis. It had to do with my emotional state. So let me explain what I mean. So the logical mind is where you go to the charts and you start marking them up, putting on your trend lines and your supply and demand zones, your Donchion channels, your Elliott wave theory, the quarter point theories, and all these different things. Okay, now you're using logic. Okay, so you're marking up your charts whichever way you choose, whatever strategy you want. That's the logical mind because it's using logic. Logic doesn't use emotions. It's just facts, figures, numbers, calculations. All emotions are gone. Thank you, Royal. We have Royal from South Africa. Love you too. Thank you for joining. So when you're marking up your charts, you're using the part of your brain called the logical mind, because the logical mind is trying to see, okay, where did price action start? Where did it start? Where's the actual highs of the day? Where's the actual lows of the day? Or where's the high of the week? Where's the low of the week? Whatever strategy you're using, whether it's market maker method, trust me, I know plenty of them up in here. I know plenty of them. So if I knew all of that, why was I still struggling with success like some of you? So I'm telling you, listen to the end. I'm trying to coach you because we're all fellow retail traders. You only have two groups, institutions or big corporations and us retail traders. Hey, Cyrus from Kenya. See, I told you guys, I'm going to have listeners from all over the world, and I'm trying to help the fellow retail trader, and thousands are going to be watching this later. That's why I'm teaching you this, because we can all come out better off and help our communities if we just learn to listen. So follow me what I'm saying. So what happens is when you're marking up your chart, what portion of the brain are you using? The logical mind. But if you knew all that, and it's not like it's foreign information to any retail trader. So why so many retail traders are still failing? Have you thought about that? You think that you needed to, I said this, I said it. I said, a lot of you guys, you think you need another strategy and another strategy and another strategy. And you got another indicator, and another, and another, and another, and another. And you really need just a simple trading system with a couple of different, one or two, maybe three top strategies. That's it. You don't need no more. It's very simple. But the problem is, even with that, you're screwing it up. Why? What is separating the retail trader from the expert trader? Here it is. Your emotions. So when your logical mind is marking up the charts, especially if you're using higher time frames, it's easy to spot where price action is going to happen. Because now you're playing in the same arena with the big time, the big banks and institutions that we all have charts that we look at. So what happens is they're looking at the higher time frames and they put their, they do what they do. They're not afraid of using a larger stop loss. You are, as a fellow retail trader. Why? Because logically it makes sense to put that stop loss up in this area, but emotionally, the emotion side kick in, and what do? Instead of using a 50 pip stop loss, which will be pretty comfortable and keep you safe, no, and logically, you're saying it the whole time. I should put my stop loss here, but then your emotional mind kicks in. See, the other half of your mind kicks in. You say, oh, no, ain't no way I'm using no 50 pip stop loss. That's too big. I'll blow my account. But ask yourself, how many accounts have you blown already? You say logically, I know the banks are probably going to try to retest this area. But emotionally, you kick in and you put your stop loss right where you know they're going to hit you. Why did you do that? See, do you see how your own psychology is interfering with your success? Let's take this further. See, some of you guys, you want more strategies. You don't need another strategy. You need to fix you. You're interfering with the success process because of your own lack of self-control. And even, I guarantee, by the time I get done with this video, everything I'm saying to a lot of you guys, it's going to be just like, man, he's just saying the truth. I may not even like this dude, but he's telling the absolute truth. It's undeniable truth. I am struggling with this. And guess what? You're going to repeat the same process this week. You know why? Because you're allowing not the logical mind, which will actually trade like institutions and banks. Talking about beat the market maker. No, I'm not trying to beat the market maker. I'm trying to play along with them. If they're successful at Forex, then let me be doing the same thing they're doing. Why do I need to fight with them? I can just join them. But in order to join them, I have to think like them and do what they do. So that is the logical mind. When you market up your charts, it all makes logical sense. But then why is it that 85, 90% of Forex traders, retail traders, keep losing? Because logically, everything I've said so far makes logical sense. But the moment the market opens and you start using your real money, your emotional mind screams a whole lot louder than the logical. And all logic and wisdom goes right out the door. Come on, this is the truth. All logic goes right out the door, and you keep letting your emotional mind kick in and dominate your trading career. Let's take this further. Come on, keep on. I'm stepping on your toes. You got a few more. Just take the other shoe off. I'm going to stomp on those toes too. I'm hurting your feelings. I'm hurting your toes. I'm stepping on your toes, but it's out of love. Because I don't want to see none of you guys go through 4.5 freaking years, 7 days a week. Never took a day off. And again, going back to what I said in the beginning, it was not until I hated the markets. I literally hated the markets. I still don't have too much feeling about it. I love my classes. My students who attend classes, you know doggone well, I get juiced about teaching my weekly classes. But as far as the market themselves, it's like, let me give you an example. One time I was so angry. Watch this, and I'm telling you the truth. One time, see, I believe in dream boards. I believe in having vision boards of where you want to go, what you want to accomplish. And one time I got so angry because I hit a rough patch in my life. And I took my dream board, which was plastered on a metal type of fiber, right? And I yanked it off the wall out of anger. And I balled it up because I was so angry. But what happened was I slit this particular finger. I'm going to put these fingers together so nobody won't think I'm trying to give them the finger. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to put these two up, okay? All right. But this one here, it's slit. I slit this finger and had to be rushed to the hospital because I was so angry and I tossed my own dream board. Why? Because I got over emotional. And now, and that was a long time ago. Do you know to this very day, if I tap right here, this thing still feels weird. Why? Because I severed the nerve. It doesn't feel the same no more. This is an example of what I had to do with the markets. I had to cut myself off. I had to have a deep severing of the emotional mind attachment to the markets before I actually saw the markets for what they were. Before I was comfortable with stop using 5 and 10 pip stop loss, even though I'm supposed to be a swing trader. That's great if you're a scalper. You know, If you're a day trader or swing trader, why in that HE double hockey sticks are you using a 5-pip stop loss, a 10-pip stop loss, a 12-pip stop loss? As soon as they retest and send a little spike candle, they hitting you out the park. Come on now. You know that makes what? Come on. Logical sense. But then why don't you execute that accordingly when you're trading? Because your emotional mind. So I had to get numb to the market. Let's keep going. Here's some problems. Number one, watch this. You think I'm lying? Watch this. You know your broker, but your broker don't even know you. They have to look you up. Oh yeah, see, my broker. And you just talk like y'all on cool levels. See, everything is so emotional to you. But when you contact your broker, they say, may I have your account number and your first and last name? Why are they asking that? Because they don't know you. They don't care nothing about you, partner. When did you gonna get this? You are playing in an arena where people don't care about you. You're the only person who's emotionally attached to this thing. They don't care. Everything about this whole situation is complete disattachment to each other. They're disassociated. It's all about, if you want to know what they actually love, they only love money. That's why they pull tricks in the market to try to take yours. The only thing they have emotions about is the money. But even how they go about it, they have put parameters in place to desensitize their own personal emotions. And that's where you get the term mechanical trading systems. Mechanical trading systems means just that. It has no need for emotions. You guys are too emotional about your trades. Watch this. You take a trade. You place your stop loss. You place your take profit. Now, logically, watch this. Logically, it makes sense that you're free. You don't need to watch the trade because only two things are going to happen. It's either going to hit your stop loss or it's going to hit your TP. Come on, brother. Come on now. Logically, you know that makes sense. So logically, you know you don't need to spend the next 2, 3, 4 hours staring at your trade. Why? Because it's only two outcomes that can happen. It will either hit your stop loss or it will hit your take profit. Who would disagree with that? No one. Because that's all it is. You analyze the charts, place your trade, put your stop loss, put your take profit. Simple as that. You walk away and whatever happens, happens. Don't that all make sense? Okay. Let me make sure I'm not going too fast. If you agree, type a 100 in the box if you agree. Because we do have a few people listening now. We're going to have thousands listening later. If you agree with what I just said, type a 100 in the box if you agree. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page as far as what logically makes sense. When you analyze a chart and you enter the trade, you can put your stop loss and your take profit, and then you walk away. Okay, I see the 100s. That means nobody's disagreeing with me thus far on what I said. And it doesn't matter whether you like me or not. Sometimes God will send you somebody to help you even if you don't like them. Why? Because I'm always in people's face telling them the truth. I'm not soft. I'm a coach, so I'm in your face. And people don't sometimes like coaches, but the coach is here to help you. So I'm seeing all the 100. So nobody is disagreeing with the fact that when you place a trade, you do two things after you place your trade, put your stop loss and take profit, and you're supposed to walk away. However, come on. Logically, here's logic. Logically, that makes sense. But what do? Now we're going to get to the truth. Because the truth will do what? Set you free. If that's the case, come on. You know where I'm going with this. If that's the case, why are you always on your phone, staring at the trade as if telepathically and emotionally you can make this trade go faster? As if telepathically and emotionally you can make this trade hit your TP. Why are you on your phone all the time? Some of you guys, let me tell you why I think for some of you guys, without good coaching, you shouldn't be trading. because you're about to lose your freaking job that pays the bills over a trade that even if you want it, you may make 50 bucks, 100 bucks, $5, $10, because you don't care about even losing your freaking job. You're trying to be slick, knowing your boss is watching you and knowing that you up to something no good. But you sneaking around and you become a sneaky person because you're watching this trade. Why? Emotions kicked in. And somebody said, how do you overcome that? We're going to get to that. We're going to get to it. Just stay tight. I told you, we're going to walk this one through. I'm going to walk you through it. But until I lead you to where the truth of the matter is with some of you guys' trading career, you will never drink the juice that I'm trying to give you to set you free from the bondage. And I want you to write that term down. Trading equals bondage. Because for some of you guys, that's exactly what it is. It has not been a fun career like you thought. It has turned into a bondage. It has imprisoned you. It has captured you. And it's taking your money. Trust me, I went through it for 4.5 years. And my wife had to pitifully watch on the sidelines because there was nothing she could do to help me. Except for watching me go through all the emotions and anger and frustration and just, she had to endure all that. That's why you always see me traveling. Some person hit me up, oh man, yeah, you ain't humble, you just trying to show out. You have no idea about my journey. How dare you try to email and try to criticize somebody who you don't even know? I reward my wife for enduring and putting up with me for 4.5 years. 7 days a week, I never took a day off because of this particular lesson I'm talking to you guys about. And the truth is, it's happening in some of y'all's house as we speak. So kiss my 2 cheeks for whoever want to criticize me for always being on the road, traveling with my wife and treating her good. She deserves it. You have no idea about my journey and what we went through. So she deserves the blessings, and I will continue to bless her. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Now let's keep going here. You talk about your broker. Your broker don't know you. They have to look you up. The broker opens up spreads. I tell you guys every time, don't ever open up a trade at the beginning of the Forex trading day. It doesn't matter what time of day it is for you. The Forex trading day starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every week, including today. Don't open a trade up. You want a strategy? Here it is. I'm saving you from blowing your account. Don't open a trade. I know about these strategies where, hey, you can get in on the next candle on the next trading day because see, if you do the day separators and then you can see where the pattern was and then it's as soon as the do, and why hasn't it worked? Because your broker, Lord have mercy, I'm trying to tell some of y'all emotional minds. Stop, because the broker knows about that too. But at the beginning of the Forex trading day, your broker don't care about you. They open up them spreads. The normal spreads, which is for new people, that's the difference between what the actual price of the pair that you're trying to trade versus what you have to pay the broker to enter it. So that little difference is called the spread. A typical spread could be anywhere from 3 to 5 pips, depending on the broker. But at the beginning of the Forex trading day, and don't take a trade, but just watch it for yourself. So the next time I talk about this, nobody better say that I'm lying. You don't take a trade today and you watch when the market open at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. You watch it for yourself and watch if them spreads don't open up by 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 pips and you're using a 5 pip, 10 pip stop loss. Man, you're giving these people your money. Now you would assume, because you Mr. or Mrs. Emotional Trader, that, well, see, my broker, you talk like y'all cool. But when they open them spreads, they take your money too. See, it's nothing. You're nobody special to them. You're not special to the markets. When are you going to get this? Because the day you get this and let it register in your head, the better off you're going to be as an expert trader. Because all expert traders think on a methodical level, not emotional, attachment level. Well, I need this trade to win because I don't care about your freaking bills. Georgia in the house. Hey, what's up, Georgia? Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? Detach emotionally from trading, and you'll begin to see the markets for what it's really trying to tell you. And your success will skyrocket because for the first time, you'll be able to, number one, watch this. Watch. Number one, for the first time, you'll be able to place a trade with your technical analysis and actually follow your own trading rules. Oh my God. How many of you guys break your own trading rules because by the time you actually enter the market, your emotions kick in so high until now you playing around with the stop losses, you finessing and messing with it and this and that, only to end up losing. And then you come back the next day and that very trade played out exactly the way you thought it would. Because when you was doing your quote unquote technical analysis, logical mind, you knew it. But by the time your emotional mind kicked in, you screwed up the trade. So the first benefit of what I'm saying is, number one, you're going to become a far better trader because number one, you're going to stop trading with small stop losses, because when you did your analysis, you noticed, okay, here's the area. So I need to know that my broker may open the spread. So that's even more pips. And then if they try to stop hunt, that's a couple of more pips. So you're going to know to stretch that thing out, and you're not going to feel any kind of way about it. Why? Because everything that you just said makes total logical sense. And you do not acknowledge the emotional side. But this is a bigger stop loss. You tell the other side of the mind, yeah, I know it's a bigger stop loss. So stop trying to over leverage this trade. Trade with something that we ain't going to blow the account. Use a lesser amount and let's follow our rules for the first time. Some of you guys been trading forever and you still don't follow your own trading rules. Come on now, this is the TRUTH. Why? Because you have rules, but you don't follow them because the emotional mind kicks in. The expert trader always follow their rules. They don't deviate from their rules. If you actually work for one of these firms, they have rules in place for if you lose this amount in the portfolio, you're done trading for a while. You're shut off. But I can make it back. No, you ain't. You ain't gonna make it back. You'd be lucky if you make it back in your seat to keep working here. Sit your butt down, relax. Do you understand what I'm saying? The second benefit of following through on what I'm telling you, as far as shutting off your emotional mind, you will now have peace of mind when you trade. Some of you guys, let me tell you what I have to do sometimes, which has really helped me to focus on other things when I'm involved. Number one, start using smaller lot sizes. Don't try to blast your account into oblivion. In other words, oh, I'm trying to double and triple my account so I can show how I done flipped accounts. That is an emotional comment that you do not ever hear in the expert trading world. You always hear experts talking about, oh, I increased my portfolio by 5%. I increased my portfolio by 10%. I increased my portfolio by 25% this month. You always hear them talking about they increased their percentages in a month's time or in a quarter's time. Last quarter, we did XYZ. In the third quarter, we did XYZ. So you notice the language they're using. But the average retail trader is trying to double and triple their account in the next 2 or 3 trades. You have no patience. Where's that coming from? Right here. Right here. Your emotional side. Do you see how you're interfering with your own success? My God, I hope you guys get this. They talk about winning by percentages. You talking about doubling and tripling your, I'm trying to triple my account because I got to pay this. And do you hear them talking about what bills they need to pay? Or do you hear them say, hey, I'm just going to risk 3% of my account, 4%. Notice they're always using percentages. I'm going to risk 3%, 2%, 1% of my account on this trade. You're risking 25, 50, 75% on that one trade. Why? Because you're trying to flip this account because you got to go do X, Y, Z. See, you all up in this. They're just right here, plain black and white. This is just a trade. And because they're using a smaller lot size, they're not concerned about whether that trade wins or loses. It's not life or death to them, but to you, it is. So to the person who asks, what is one of the solutions on how to calm your emotions? Stop risking so much freaking money on any given trade. Not saying that you do because I don't know you personally, but I'm just saying because I know we have people listening now and thousands are going to watch later. So I'm saying the general statement. The first thing I had to do is stop putting so much pressure on every trade by putting so much on it. I had to eliminate the pressure of the trade to the point where I could relax because it didn't matter whether that one trade won or lost. It's just one trade of many that I was going to be taking. Why? Because I reduced the amount I was putting on each trade. So there wasn't life or death to my account. If this trade loses, I'll lose everything on the account. Well, why did you risk so much in the first place? God, this is some good stuff. Oh, I miss teaching on stages. That's my ultimate goal. I really want to get back to teaching on stage. I promise you, I could do a lecture in a room full of traders, and I guarantee within this one class alone, this one lecture I'm doing for you guys who are investing your time to listen to what I'm telling you, this one lecture alone, if you absorb what I'm trying to tell you, you'll begin to see where the flaw is. It has nothing to do with the trades. It has to do with you. The market is centered around manipulating people who are overly emotional. It abuses people who are overly emotional. And you have to ask yourself, if there's only a small sector of successful Forex traders or retail traders in stocks, options, I don't care what you're talking about, cryptocurrency, binary options, you go down the list, you will see there's only a small section of successful experts. But then when you begin to narrow down what makes them an expert, you'll notice they talk in percentages, they trade with small lot sizes so that it's not life or death, but not the majority of all Forex traders, retail traders, binary options, you pick the whatever. They all have the same general common issue. You put too much of your own expectations on every single trade, and that is why you're nervous. I told my students this last week. I said, why is it that a person can take some money? Because you guys know I went to Vegas, and then after that, they dropped me off in Arizona, and then we just came back from another trip. See, but the point was, when you're in Vegas, which I didn't gamble, I don't even like gambling, but I'm just using this as a narrative. If you go to a place like Las Vegas, people will tell you in advance, oh, I'm going to take $100, or I'm going to take $200. They blow that $200 and still come home talking about, oh, I had a good time. Well, did you win anything? No, girl, they took all my money, but I had me a good time. Wait a minute. Freeze frame. Wait a minute. So you took the same amount of money you would have put in your Forex account, but you took it to Las Vegas. You lost every dime of it, but you're telling me you had a great time. Wait a minute. But if you took that same amount of money, put it into your Forex trading account and lost it, you just lost your freaking mind. You cussed everybody out. You kicked the dog, threw your laptop across the room. What is the difference? Oh my God, what is going on here? I'll tell you what the problem was. When you went to Las Vegas, you kind of had an expectation that you didn't really care whether it won or lost. You just wanted to have a good time. So if you did win at a slot machine or a crap table or blackjack, well, cool. Okay, that's fine. But if you didn't, you really didn't care. Why? You have already allotted how much you was comfortable with not coming home with. You had already set that up, and therefore the bells, the whistles, all the excitement, the shows, everything else, you just had a good time. But the moment you put that same thing into the Forex market, you have lost your freaking mind. What was the difference? You guys starting to see it? What was the difference? Your emotional attachments and your emotional expectations. That was the only difference between the two. Both of them were putting money at risk. But one of them you associated with having a good time. The other one you associated with life or death. And because of that association, you're so intense on every trade you take. And here's what I had learned to do. Let me write this down. Stick with me. Come on now. Don't stick with me. Here's what I learned to do. One of the first things that will help you is, number one, write this down. Make sure that you reduce the amount that you put in on every trade so that it's not life or death to your account. If the trade wins, praise God. If the trade loses, you still got plenty of money in your account to be able to trade another day. Just like the expert traders. They risk 1 to 3% of their account, 5% max. Therefore, not if that trade loses, they still got 95, 97, 98% of their account still left to play another day. No wonder they don't care about it. You're risking 25, 50, 35, 45, 50, 75% of your account on one trade. Do you see why you're nervous and they are not? Number two, write this down. One of the big things that I had to do, which sometimes if I find myself falling back into my old habits of being overly emotional and staring at my phone too much, especially as a, watch this, full-time trader. I want to be a full-time trader. I want to be a full-time trader. If you have nothing else on your plate but to wake up and trade, then all you're going to do is stare at your trades all day long because you literally have nothing else to do as a full-time trader for a living. If that's it, this is why you see a lot of the people who you watch on social media who do trading, you'll notice they have multiple other things they're doing. Why? Because what they learn to do is I have to occupy my time with something else or this trading will drive me nuts. So one of the things I did, and I still do if I find myself getting out of control over a trade, I will actually take the MT4 app off my phone, or if you're using the MT5 or whatever trading platform you're using, delete it off your phone for a little while. Therefore, when I'm at dinner with my wife, if I'm at the mall with my wife, if I'm doing something else, I focus on that task because I don't have the app on my phone to even keep looking every few freaking minutes. Here's y'all. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You're at work in a meeting with your boss sitting a few seats down. And here you are sneaking up under the table. You think the boss, watch, here's what y'all do. Look at how silly you are. Look, you're doing this, and then the boss is talking. He, mouth, 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 mouth. That's what it sounds like to you because it ain't like you're paying attention to what he said. Why? Because you just placed a trade that if you do lose, it's going to lose $10. But you're about to lose your job that's paying all your bills over a $10 trade. But here's what you do. You're sitting at that table at the meeting. And the boss, you think they ain't seeing this? This is what y'all look like. I promise you I'm not lying. Why? Because I did it. Oh, yeah, that was a good idea. Mm-hmm. And the boss is saying, why they keep looking down at their phone? Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? Are you at your cubicle? Are you at your desk? And you think the boss, your production numbers have went down. And the boss is wondering why your production numbers went down. And every time they swing around the corner, you keep jumping. And they like, okay, now I don't know what they're doing, but I guarantee they ain't doing the job. They being sneaky. And so now what you just did is made yourself a target because now your boss is watching you to find out what your sneaky habits are. And all of it's over a freaking silly trade. Over a freaking trade? Are you kidding me? Take the app off your phone. And during your breaks, you can go and log on and check your account. I literally had to do that. And I see some smiley faces popping up. See, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. See, you can't make this stuff up. You only, listen, you know what made me good at what I do? It's because I've been through it. I did it. And I'm trying to come back and pull some of you guys back from destroying your life because of Forex. Because I almost did it. 4.5 long years. 7, ask my wife. I'm telling you. Matter of fact, I just talked to my wife. Hey, Derek, what's up, D? What's up, D? I even asked my wife, I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have her, I asked her, would she be okay with me interviewing her? So she's gonna be part of my lineup when I start doing interviews of other Forex traders and other people. So to help you guys out, like I said, I'm gonna be interviewing Forex traders who are very good and professionals in what they do. My accountant, I'm gonna be bringing him on to interview him. So you guys can kind of figure out, okay, here's some tax ideas that you wanna think about. It's if you're gonna be a full-time Forex trader and this and that. Even if you lose trades, you can still write those off and stuff like that. See, a lot of y'all didn't even know that. See, it don't have to be a complete loss if you understand how money works. So even if you lost some trades, guess what? You write that off as a business discount. Not a big deal. See, you didn't even know that. So there's a lot you don't know as retail traders, and I'm going to try to help you with that. But one of those, I asked my wife, would she be okay with me interviewing her so you guys can literally talk to the person and hear from her what my journey was really like, so that you don't repeat the same destructive mistake in your home over these trades. And where did all that come from? From the very subject I'm talking to you guys about today, because I was too emotionally attached to these trades. I put too much expectation on every trade. And as a result, I was destroying myself in our life. And don't ever forget the example I shared with you of a person taking $200 to Las Vegas. They lost $200 and they were completely thrilled and walked back and said, oh, I had a good time down there. But then if they lose $50 in the markets, they lost their freaking ever-loving mind. What was the difference? The way you saw it. The way you put the interpretation on it. And as a result of the interpretation, this one thing alone is what separates the expert trader from the retail trader. The expert trader only uses logic. They put parameters in place to operate out of logic. But the retail trader has no parameters in place. They don't even stick to their own rules. They are just willy-nilly, and they're allowing their emotions to override all logic. Here's the thing, and I'll leave you with this. If you're going to keep letting your emotional mind rule the show, then why are you even wasting time doing technical analysis? Think about it. How much time have you spent marking up charts only to break your own rules? Because of your impatience, because of your emotional state. Let me leave you with another bonus. If you are a person who has issues with anger, you need not be a trader. And you say, well, why is that? Because angry people don't know how to deal with their own emotions, and therefore they want what they want when they want it. And if it don't work out the way they want, then guess what? They're going to be highly pissed and lose their ever freaking mind. When in essence, you may have lost one trade, but then the next ones could have been all winners. But you were so angry over one simple little small issue, one little small trade, and then you blasted it off and lost your ever-loving mind, kicking the dog, become abusive and everything else because you don't know how to manage you. You want to try to sit here and manage a trading account and you can't even manage you. Come on now, this is some good old truth. Oh my God, I wish I was on a stage with 2,000 people sitting in the audience. Oh, I miss talking on the stage. I can't wait to get back to doing that. Because this is transformative. This is dealing with real truth. If you're dealing with trauma, if you're going through a divorce or a relationship breakup, you know what my advice is? Don't trade at all, because you're not going to be the expert trader who trades from a intellectual, strictly rule-based method. You're going to be the person who's trading from your emotions, and this and that and this, and all these other things start coming in. Thank you, Kelvin. Hey, Kelvin, what's happening? Kelvin said, yeah, you've been with us 6 months, and he said you'll learn a lot from my class. See, I'm really concerned about what's going on. I'm not your average person, because I went through that pain and I had nobody to help me. That's what drives me to keep doing these free videos every Sunday. I don't get paid for this. Check and see if I don't even get incentivized. You know how you get, what's that, where you get paid from social media? They pay you, you know what I'm talking about, where I forgot what they said. So, you get a number of views and subscribers, and then YouTube and all these other people, they will pay you. You know what I mean? I don't have no deal with them. I don't even get paid for my channel. Never have. So Why am I doing this? Because I know the pain I went through. I care about you guys. I really do. Yeah, them influencers. That's one. Thanks, James. Yeah, them YouTube influencers. And I get contacted by YouTube and all these companies hit me up. Hey man, we see that we wanna advertise on your channel and this. I turn down every single one. Not saying I ain't gonna do it in the future. Somebody, I might change my mind, but right now I really don't care about that. The whole point is I don't care about that. I'm doing what I'm doing because I went through so much pain and trauma from exactly this, the charts. Why do you think I started creating my own indicators? Because I got tired of the way people were explaining stuff, making me feel like I was stupid. So I started designing trading systems that I could actually understand, keeping it simple. And then I designed it for my children so that they can understand. That's why I originally did all this. It wasn't for no YouTube influencer stuff and all that. I don't know. It wasn't even for that. That's why I get pissed when people be talking, oh, see, he this and he that. You don't even know me. How are you going to talk about somebody you don't even know? Like you the expert. That's your problem. You're only trying to target me because you're the person who I'm talking about today. You're overly emotional. You will never see Warren Buffett on my channel talk about, well, I think I did an assessment of Uncle P. He's too successful. See, successful people don't waste time. Expert traders don't waste time trying to figure out if this person is scammed. Why? They're too busy about their own business. Only emotional traders who fall flat on their own face trying to find somebody else to blame because they never took hold and reins of their emotions. And when I tell you to stop trading and I tell you to relax or take a day off and you don't do it and you blow your account, that's on you because you didn't listen. Can you manage my account? No, because if I decide I ain't trading today because, hey, all hell gonna break loose with news, you gonna be the one, well, why ain't you placing no trades? Because I just told you. If the banks ain't trading during this news event, why are you expecting me to? You see how the emotions kick in? You see that? Who's talking here? Are you an expert trader or are you a retail trader with this emotions talking? Well, I need to be in some trades. I need to make some money. No, you need to come into the market and enter trades when the market says I'm ready to pay. Has nothing. They don't care about your bills, sir or ma'am. They don't care about your bad boss who you want to just quit your job. They don't care. And as a result of that, you will slow down. Let me say this and I'm closing. When you really grasp what I'm trying to teach you, because I got 2.5 minutes left. There's only one. I usually do 1 hour or less on Sunday. 1 hour of your time just to teach you and mentor you. Okay. I got 2.5 minutes. Let me say this and we're done. When you grasp the concept of what I'm trying to teach you and stop putting so much on every single trade, what happens is that you will begin to enjoy the journey of your trading career. And what happens is you allow the natural process of compounding to take place. If you don't know about the compound theory, and I don't mean compound chicken, I say compounding. Research compounding, and you can slowly grow your account to the point where it will exceed your job income. And when it can exceed your job income for at least 6 months, at that point, you can easily just walk the heck away. How do I know? When I interview my wife, and she will tell you, because she doesn't even trade in the markets at all. She's a speaker, she's a writer, she does other things. She used to be a teacher and all these different things. She has a whole different career. She knows nothing about trading. Wait till she tells you about the day that I actually walked off my job. And she was absolutely 100% on board with it. She was okay with it. Why? Because I learned to do things the right way. And I had grew my account to a point where she felt confident that I could support the family without me putting them at risk. Because I learned to be patient and I learned to let it grow and I learned to trade with rules. And so when I said, babe, there was something that happened at that job, and I'll let her tell you when I interview, but there was something that happened that day at that job. And I didn't like what happened. And here's the truth. Some of the people who's in my group, they worked with me. They were my co-workers years ago. So they know doggone well I'm telling the truth. I used to work with them. And they saw me walk out the door. The very time when they said, oh man, you know what? We're making changes here at the company. We're making changes here at the company. And they try to butter it up. And they're trying to say, in the end, y'all gonna have to work 3 times as hard, but you're gonna make about the same amount of income. Because we need to raise our profit levels up for our shareholders. But meanwhile, you ain't gonna get no extra. But they don't tell it to you like that, but they finessed it. And on that day, I said, no, I'm good. I'm good. That very day after I left that meeting, I contacted my wife. I said, no, this is about it. I ain't taking this. My 2 bosses, and I'm gonna be 1 or 2 minutes over my 1 hour. So sorry about that. Let me finish this real quick. Because again, I'm only usually do 1 hour and I'm at 1 hour point right here, but just give me 2 more minutes. Let me finish this story so y'all will know what it looks like. So when they did that, they had a big, and this is a company that's traded on the NASDAQ. Okay. So it's not a small company. So the owners of the company came into town and do this big old thing that was so big until they had to rent out a movie theater for all the staff. And they had the donuts and all the food there trying, I'm thinking, okay, they talking about we're going to introduce a new product and da-da-da. And it was in the medical field. Okay. Feel me? So what happened was they came in and they started doing all this bougie talking. Oh, here's the new product. And you guys, we're going to do great next quarter and da-da-da. You know how they give their old chokey choke. Yeah. And everybody clapping and everything. And I was sitting right there. I wasn't excited yet. I'm like, what's going on here? See, I'm a businessman. So I know how people do in business. They fluff you up and make you feel real good before they slap you with something else. So they got to cheer you up first. Pump, 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 pump. And then you understand what I'm saying? So here's what they did. They came in with an okie doke towards the end saying, well, see, last quarter, our profits was XYZ. So what we're going to need you guys to do is to boost this new product. And when you boost the new product and then this and that, and the whole time, that's great. We're going to boost this new product, but how is this going to boost my bottom line? Is what I was thinking. And I read the bull crap real quick. And at the end of the day, I'm saying, hold up, player. So we're going to do 3 times the amount of work, but we ain't going to get 3 times the increase. Y'all going to get the increase for your shareholders who don't even work here. For your who? Investors. But your workers ain't going to make no extra. That day, I came back, called up Nancy. I said, babe, here's what they did. I think this is it. And she said, okay, whatever you say. Notice my wife was on board. Why? Because I proved to her that I finally got myself under control in the trading arena. And she's seen me do it. Some of you guys, you're demanding your spouse or significant other to come on board with your trading dream, and they don't see you actually under control. All they see is your anger, your financial losses, your this and that, your lack of discipline, your blah, blah, blah. They see all negative, and you're telling them to buy into it. My wife saw that half of me, 4.5 years of suffering. But when I turned the corner, because I changed the way I was thinking, and she saw the corner turn and she saw the profits begin to come in, the day I said I'm going to be walking off the job, she said, okay. She didn't give me no fuss, no slack about it. So here's what happened that day. And I'm telling y'all the story, but I'll let her confirm it so y'all can see. I don't make this stuff up. I don't need to. I don't have to make up stories. God is my witness. Here's how it happened. I had 2 bosses, one who worked in the office, who oversaw the operation of our particular team, and then one who was on the floor. I had 2 bosses I had to report to. I told the boss on the floor, we was real cool too. He loved me because even though I didn't want to be there, I was faithful. I was always, wherever God puts me, I tried to be faithful. Because it was not about the boss. I was trying to show God, you know, this is not my dream. This is not where I want to be, but I'm going to be faithful wherever you put me. So I can prove to you that I can handle myself and you can reward me for being faithful. So I went to that boss on the floor and he loved me. We was cool. We was good peoples. We were friends actually. And so he knew, he trusted me. But the day I told him I'm going to be leaving, he said, wait a minute here. And he didn't even take the conversation. He walked me into the office where the other main boss was, who I was also cool with. And that boss, they both shut the door and sat me down. And here's when you know you've been faithful on your job, which is why God blessed my steps. Because both of them were trying to convince me to stay. Now, if you are not a good, productive salesperson at that job, they were telling you to leave anyway. But the reverse happened for me because I was faithful and consistent. And they both was trying to convince me, no, you need to stay. You need to stay, man. Here's what we can do. See, if you just hang on in there, here's what's going to happen at the company and this and that. And the one thing I kept saying, no, I just think, and I kept trying to be nice about it. And they kept on pushing. So here's what I did, and I'll close with this. I'm 5 minutes over my 1 hour. Here's what I did. I literally pulled out my phone. God is the witness to my soul. I pulled out my cell phone. And I showed them how much money I made on my trades that day. God is good. I showed them how much money I made on my trades that day. And you know what they both said? Good luck with your career. We miss you. And if you ever want to come back, you're more than welcome to come back. That stopped the whole conversation because they knew they could not talk me out of, I made this here in my trades, because they all knew I traded. Everybody at the company who knew me, they knew I traded on the side. So some of you guys who want to be full-time traders, you realize you don't have to sit there staring at your charts all day as a full-time trader, because once you place your trades, there's literally nothing else to do. So you just go find other things to do. So everybody, including my bosses, knew I traded. They knew. My team members, they all, and people in different departments, they all knew. That's why I said I ain't making this up, because some of the people who was in these departments, they trade with me now. So they know. They was a witness when I left. I showed them what I made. And they stopped talking because they knew they couldn't compete with that. And that was the last job I had several years ago. So for some of you guys who are aspiring to be full-time traders, I know what you're trying to do, but you must listen to what Uncle P is trying to tell you about my harsh journey from where I was to where I am now. It wasn't easy. And part of that had nothing to do with trading systems. That's why I'm here to tell you that. I'm trying to help you, because some of you got 50 trading systems, 50 different strategies, and you still you don't even know what the withdrawal process even look like, because you never made a withdrawal. You are very familiar about how to deposit money in your trading account, but you have never in your life made one withdrawal, and you're wondering why, with all your skills and knowledge about the markets, and you still have not succeeded. Why? If you take heed to the lesson I taught you today, and if you tuned in late, you need to watch this from the very beginning. And you'll begin to see, I had to learn to detach from the market, trade properly, and let the account grow. Are you understanding what I'm saying? I had to let it grow. And when it was time for that tree to blossom, when the day, it was kind of like, thinking about it now, talking with you guys, and I'm sorry, I'm 8 minutes over. Let me close in 10 minutes because I'm supposed to be 1 hour, 8 minutes over. Thinking about it even now. When the time was right, things were in place. I didn't see it now, but even sitting here talking to you guys now, I now see it. When the time was right, everything fell into place. So the day that they decided to pull that whammy at the job, and I was one of their top sales guys, and the day they pulled that whammy, I was able to show them trades that exact same day in that office, to where they said, okay, that's cool. Now, I respected them, and I didn't walk off the job that day, because they said, hey, you got to do the 2-week notice thing, even though for what? I'm an entrepreneur. I don't need to work for nobody anyway. But I respected the process even then. And I said, okay, yeah, I'll stay, 2 more weeks and, do the proper transition out. Because I could have just walked out the door that day like some of y'all would have. The hell with you. I'm gone, nigga. I'm gone. No, I respected where God had me. I wanted to show honor and respect wherever God puts me. And so even though I could have walked out the door that day, got into my car and cut out and never heard from him again, I respectfully stayed the 2 weeks out. And I respectfully still did my job all the way to the end. And when I walked out the door, people cheered for me and they were happy for me because they saw me do the right thing. And what was that? I stayed faithful on the job while I was building up my trading account. So on the day when things went bad, I could easily walk off the job and neither my wife complained about it, my boss complained about it, and nobody complained about it because I did things right. You're doing things wrong because you're too emotional over your trading. And you will never reach expert status because of you, not because of these charts. You keep surfing the internet. Well, where's the next indicator? What's the next thing? Does simplicity work? Is Uncle P a scam? You can do all of that. And you can pay for $100,000 course and you're still going to be broke because until you get what I'm trying to teach you about where you're interfering with your own process, you, as the Bible says, have become a stumbling block. In other words, you're the stone in the middle of the road that you keep tripping over. You're the one in your own way. You're the problem. And until you fix that, ain't nothing going to be better. And I'm sorry, I got to be the one to deliver the hard truth. But you know what? I wish to heaven's God that I had a mentor like me at that time. It would have shaved off several years of pain out of my 4.5-year trading. And I can't even call it a trading career because it wasn't a career. It was just a hot mess. 4.5 painful. Ooh, I got cuss words on the tip of my, I'm telling you, I can still feel the pain. And if I talk about it too long, the tears will well up in my eyes. That journey was so painful. And what made it more painful is because, and let me say this, because I'm over. I got to stop. You guys know what it's like to be in your trading room on your laptop or computer. It's only you in this computer. You don't even have somebody to talk to. So when you're going through your pain, it's just you in that room. You can't even bounce it off others. You certainly can't tell the other people in your house because you can't tell them you just lost part of the income, the family income. So you walk around with this guilt and shame and intimidation by the market. Notice what I'm talking about again, emotions. Notice what expert traders, banks, and institutions do not ever talk about, emotions. They don't get into it. They get into, here's our strategy, here's our systems in place, here's our structure. Retail traders, all emotion. Well, I just felt like, that's emotions. Well, I just thought that's emotions. And you're destroying yourself. So for some of you guys, maybe this was the one lesson you needed to hear. You are destroying yourself because of trading, because you won't come to the markets the way you should, which is humbly and with honor and respect for the process and without your personal expectations of wanting to quit your job or I need to get this and get that. The markets don't care. They have a structure and a procedure. And they have it in a way where you're going to win some trades, but you're going to lose some. And you have to be okay with that, or else you are not supposed to be here. Now, if this video was helpful, please type a 100 in the box. I want to make sure this was a blessing to somebody. Because I ain't got to do this. I'm pouring my heart into you guys because I know what it's like to be in pain. Why do you think I named this trading system Simplicity? Why do you think I named it that? Because I had to simplify everything for myself. I had to simplify the process and make it so color-coded and mechanical until it's hard to not get what you need to do. Some of you guys who's listening now, you know you in my group. Which one I'm talking about? The 415er. How many people who have in our group have made tons of money off the 415er with the Simplicity system? Y'all in my group, you know it. I'm seeing some names in here, you know it. I'm always talking about, when people talk, because every week I'm talking about, okay, let's talk about, hey, here's some strategy. What strategy did you use? Hey, can you, because we do question and answer during the week where I literally get to talk to you. And as soon as I hear, okay, so how did this trade work out? Thank you, Kelvin. See, I don't make this stuff up. I'm not trying to call nobody. Keep doing what you do. If you think I'm a comment, keep doing what you do. I ain't worried about that. God is my source. He took care of me when all this time. So I'm not trying to get over. I'm trying to explain how you have to slow down and remove you. So what happens is when they start talking about, hey, I took this trade. Why do you think here's which one worked out and this one didn't? Why do you think this one? The first thing I do is, okay, tell me what steps you took. Notice what I'm doing at first. I'm removing them out of emotions, and let's go back to the drawing board and make sure you follow the rules. For an example, and I leave this, and I promise you I'm gonna stop here because I love you guys, and I'm just trying to pour. I'm 15 minutes over to go. Oh, I gotta stop. Yeah, see, Kai, there you go. See that 415. That's money, baby. That's money, baby. But let me say this, and I gotta stop. Let me say this. Even if I lose a trade, and I talked about this in class, and I'm going to give you guys this as a bonus to help you. I lost a trade last week. Okay? Lost a trade. During class on Tuesday, another person lost a similar trade. Notice the term I just used. Watch why I explain this. A what? Similar trade. It wasn't even the same currency pair. But then why are you saying similar? Watch this. So he came to class and he said, hey, I took a trade on USD Swiss, CHF. Okay, some people call it chef. It's Swiss. Okay, it's the Swiss franc. Okay, Swiss franc, CHF. So he said, I lost a trade on USD Swiss. I said, okay. He said, here's what, watch. He said, notice what I'm about to say. Take this serious. Notice what I'm about to say. He said, what do you think that who's talking, logical or emotional? Emotional. He said, what do you think that I did wrong? I said, sir, why do you think that it was you in the first place? He said, well, I said, stop. I said, let me give you an extra tip on how I stop myself before I get emotional when I lose a trade. Write this down. I'm giving you an extra strategy. See, I told y'all, those who stayed behind. Here's a strategy. Anytime I lose a trade, the first thing I do is I look at, watch what I just told you guys. I told you to pay attention to what I said. Similar. He was in Euro Swiss when he lost his trade. I was in Euro Swiss when I lost mine. So the first thing I told him to do is stop. I said, sir, who told you that you made a mistake? I said, now here's the first strategy that I do when I lose a trade to make sure that it wasn't me who messed it up. I said, I click through every pair that has the similar pair attached. Notice what he was in. USD what? Swiss, CHF. I was in what? Euro Swiss. Similar. What's the similarity? The Swiss, the CHF. We were both in Swiss trades. So I took him on the charts during class. And some of you guys were in that class when I did it last week. And I said, you guys, here's a tool that I use, a method to remove my emotions out of it. And I went through, and first thing I do when I lose a trade is I click on the other pairs that has the same similar currency pair attached. So you have the USD Swiss, you have the Euro Swiss, you have the AUD Swiss, you have the NZD Swiss, the GBP Swiss. And I began to click on each one of them. And I showed him, I said, do you see how each one of those spiked up real quick and then they dropped down real quick? I said, do you see the same exact shape or pattern on every single one of these? He said, yes. I said, that means that some news event came out that we weren't aware of and it hit all of us. I said, so the first thing I do is see if other pairs had received the same reaction on that pair at the same time. If that's the case, it simply means that there was some news event that we were not, as retail traders, we were not made aware of. And when that happened, it just happens. Sometimes it's going to be like that. So had nothing to do with price action, had nothing to do with structure and supply and demand zones and marking of charts and indicators and this and that. Sometimes people forget what kind of business we're in. We're in the business of trading two countries' economies when you enter that trade. The moment you place a trade, you're entering two countries' economies. The president of that country or the prime minister of that country, or something could happen in that country which can cause their price to spike out of the blue, and you didn't know about it. So when you look and you lose a trade, the first thing I do is click through other pairs to see which one of you guys who has the same similar connection to this currency pair, did you all suffer the same thing, or was it just me? If it was just me, that means, okay, I need to critique myself on my mechanical system and tweak how I'm approaching the market. But if it happened to all of them at the same time, that simply means something happened in that country that we weren't made aware of, which caused the price to spike. And I can relax knowing that there was nothing wrong with my trading system. There was nothing wrong with my strategy. It was just a simple trade. I move on to the next one. Ta-da. Nothing personal. Are you guys understanding what I'm telling you? Number one, reduce the amount of money you're putting on each trade so that it's to a point where you really don't care. No wonder you can place a demo trade and come back 2 weeks later. Oh, I forgot this trade was running, and it's in profit because you're not emotional about it. So reduce the amount of money you're putting on the trade. Number two, take the MT4 off your freaking phone so you're not staring at it all the time, because you staring at your trade ain't gonna make it move no faster or slower. It is what it is. When you put the stop loss and take profit in place, there's literally nothing else you can do but let it play out. So you staring at it every 2 minutes ain't gonna make it work no better. It's just causing you to be a panicky, frightened person. Stop it. Take the MT4, place your trade, and take the MT4 off your phone and relax. Check on them in a couple hours. Because if what you don't have access to, you can't keep looking at. And you have total control. Well, I like my setup. Write your setup down on a piece of paper so then when that trade is done, you can put the MT4 back on your phone, put the same setup back on it. The problem is you're out of control. It's you. You're out of control. You're a freaking maniac now. No wonder you can't control yourself during the trade. That's why I keep telling people the Bible is the truth. It said where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. What is your heart? Your emotions. Wherever you put your money, your emotions going to be there too. Your job as an expert trader is to control your emotional state by putting parameters in place so that you have these check marks to control yourself. And one of them I do is take the MT4 off my phone when I'm seeing that I'm getting too much watching of the charts. Too much staring at this trade. Okay, I'll just take it off my phone now. I ain't got no choice but to do something else because I don't have access to the information. You get what I'm saying? Number three, if I do lose a trade, the first thing I do is go look at other pairs with similarities. If they all had the same movement or the same spike that happened, it wasn't nothing personal. It was just, hey, that country had some announcement that came out, caused their currency to move abnormally, and voila, move on to the next trade. It wasn't personal. It wasn't personal. The key to this whole lesson today, get your person out of the trades. And you'll be far less angry, far less stressed out. You'll actually relax and begin to see, and let me say this and I'm done. I can look at strategies now that I was studying the whole time, market makers method, all these supply and demand zones, I study so many different strategies and indicators and this and that. I mean, I can literally write a book on that stuff. That's how many. And now that I'm looking back, I'm looking at some of those that I thought wasn't going to work. They actually could have worked the whole time. It was just that I was in my own way. I couldn't see it because I was in desperate situations trying to figure this out. I have to make this money and that. And because of that, I blinded my own self to what the markets were trying to say. I was doing my own self in. And now, even my students, they see me spotted in class. Yeah, y'all see this W? Y'all see this W at the bottom? Y'all see this? Y'all see that? And I can just point it out randomly. I mean, you just throw a chart and I can just spot it. Oh, there it is. Well, what's the difference between then and now? I don't have so much emotional baggage involved in this market. How did I get there? I had to get to a point where I hated the markets before I had to sever the umbilical cord from it. And that's what some of you guys got. You have an umbilical cord to the markets. And you have to sever that so that your eyes can be clean and clear to see what the markets actually are doing. You place a trade like a professional. You place your stop loss and you take profit like a professional, and you walk the heck away like a professional. And whether the trade wins or loses is only a small percentage of your account, and therefore you can keep on going to the next trade and keep it moving. And you have just mentally became a professional. In order to become a professional trader, it starts not on the charts, it starts in your head. And I'll leave you with that. I'll repeat it one more time and we're done. In order to become a professional trader, it starts not on the charts, it starts in your head. Thank you guys. Talk to you next week.